28 years of affiliation with North Carolina Public Schools, or The Provincial Misadventures of the Tragically Local Benjamin G. Worthington by B. Glenn Worthington. Dedicated to the North Carolina General Assembly of 2013. Thanks for all the laughs. I was signed up and over to public schools in eastern North Carolina in the fall of 1985. I attended Chocowinity Primary School, home of the Little Braves. I stayed until age 12. That year I matriculated to the combined campus of Chocowinity Middle and High Schools, where I would spend the next 5 years. We were the Fighting Indians, but now those students are Seahawks. This could be another name for an osprey, or a colloquial term for pirates. I only know one Indian who lives in Chocowinity, and as far as I know, he is still disappointed with the change. In 1996, I moved to Bull City, North Carolina, and finished public high school. I was well fed in the American Tobacco Dining Hall and learned some chemistry in a lab donated by the R.J. Reynolds Corporation. In the evenings, I would walk down the street and pretend to be a freshman at Duke. This would be my only brush with private school. In 1998, the governor asked me to come back to Greenville and learn teaching at Harvard on the Tar. This was in exchange for helping him fix public education in the 4 years that would follow. I was a teaching fellow at ECTC, and also played an undistinguished fifth of a season for the Irates, the ultimate Frisbee team. In my spare time, I sold televisions for a company now defunct. In 2001, the 16th year of my affiliation with public schools in North Carolina, I interned at Rosewood High School, a Mayberry that only rises from the mists of Greater Goldsboro once every 5 years. My cooperating teacher was the best teacher I've ever known, which was a lucky thing because apparently learning teaching for 3 years has nothing at all to do with knowing how to teach. In 2002, I graduated as a Bachelor of Science. I joined a football team that doubled as the English department of J.H. Rose High School. These men were all bigger and smarter than me, but they treated me well. They are all dead now, save Mick Flinchbaugh, who has long since been assigned to desk duty due to his unceasing quality as a classroom instructor. I taught for 4 years, as my deal with the governor had stipulated. In the fall of 2006, I ventured into parts unknown, following the sun. I got a job making houses out of foam blocks. There were blue lizards, and the people drove on the wrong side of the road. The men would play cricket for weeks on end, and the women would trade black coral jewelry for pictures of the Queen. It was a wild and wondrous place. After insulting a German, I was asked to leave. Having 12 credit hours and a little foam house money left, I came back to Greenville that spring to become a Master of Art. I studied full-time for 12 months. I lost the Nobel that year to Doris Lessing, rightfully so, I must admit, but I did win an Employee of the Month award from the English department that December. At the ceremony, I gave a speech on the subject of my 22 years of affiliation with the North Carolina Public Schools. In 2007, I returned to Rampant Land, where I remain. At the time of this edition, I have shepherded 1,500 students through a senior research paper, have issued 5,940 progress reports, and have taught Hamlet more than 60 times. I have taught it 180 times. After my 46th year of affiliation with North Carolina Public Schools and my 53rd on this planet, God willing, I will be eligible to stay at home during all 4 seasons of the year. I will pace my little house, lecturing the wallpaper, quizzing the chandelier, reprimanding the air.